Baseball is more bipolar than Mel Gibson. We all know that. Even the most cracked-looking teams will go through rough stretches, but there usually seems to be at least a few teams every year who don't go through that many bad stretches. They're consistent pretty much all the way through. But this year it feels like every team is that way. Like a bunch of teenagers going through some identity crisis. They can't decide if they want to be good or not. Even the Dodgers have been weird, but there's one team who hasn't been like the others. It's a team that won every single game they played against the Dodgers this year, and also a team that's been winning a lot of games against other teams too. It doesn't matter who they play. The Milwaukee frickin' Brewers. So thank you for being here, subscribed or not, and if you haven't joined the 49% Elite Humans, consider hitting that button if you enjoy the videos, as put these boys up against the Avengers. It'll be light work for the Brewers. I made a video about this team a couple weeks back, and for anyone who wants to bring up the iTALK jinx, yeah, you have every reason to. I've screwed some teams up, but the Brewers have remained on fire since that video of me glazing them. That's how you know how good they really are. They might be immune to my spell like Quagmire is to Mace.
Got a package for you too. All right. Nice try, but I built up an immunity.
Lots of giggities to go around Milwaukee lately. Now, has this team been great from start to finish? No, absolutely not. There was a point where they really looked cooked. Several moments, actually, and one of those moments being right after the season started. The second game into this season, the Brewers gave up 20 runs to the Yankees. 20, and then they gave up another 12 runs in the third game. 0-3 to start the season with pitching that couldn't be any worse. Well, pretty much all the pitchers involved with giving out those runs like it was a vaccine shot in those games to the Brewers are no longer there, and the Brewers currently have the second best team ERA in baseball. So after taking 2 of 3 from the Mariners a couple weeks ago, they went back home to face the mighty Marlins, which may sound like a joke, and that's because it usually is, but lately, no, the Marlins have actually been cooking. So to lose a series to them wasn't the most shameful thing ever. In fact, it shouldn't be shameful at all. The most important thing is they didn't get swept. Blake Perkins ended things on a base hit to center. Awesome. Up next, the Cubs coming to town. Now, I don't know how long you've been watching baseball. Could be a couple of years, could be 50 years. I don't know. There's a wide range of you who watch, and that's great. I love people of all ages. I'm not racist, but the point is 2017, 2018, and I guess 2019 too. Some of the most fun games to watch were Brewers Cubs. Those games were freaking hype. The Cubs had just won in 2016, so obviously they're on top of the world. Meanwhile, the Brewers are the underdogs on the come up, and it was just so much fun. Those games just got me off. Now, the Cubs are the ones who've been slacking recently and years, and they haven't made the postseason since 2020, and that doesn't count. So they really haven't made it since 2018, which is crazy to think it's been that long, but they're finally, of course, very competitive this year. So here we are with the Brewers and Cubs facing off a game apart from each other in the standings. That's sick. Baseball is in a better place when both these teams are good. Spices things up even more now that Craig Counsell, a former Brewers player, a Milwaukee native and their manager for years, is the Cubs manager now after signing the biggest contract for a manager ever a couple years ago. These hoes ain't loyal, no they ain't. Chris Brown is proven more right every day. So Cubs come into Milwaukee facing Jacob Misiorowski and immediately make a statement. Well, kinda. It's not like they were crushing him. Things were just kind of falling Chicago's way. I mean, their first run came on a strikeout. Pete Crow Armstrong swings and misses on this 96-mile-an-hour changeup in the dirt. Yes, you heard that right. And a run comes across the plate. Okay, that sounded weird, but it's 1-0 Cubs. Then Misiorowski says, while you're at it, here's 2 more. Chop right back at him. He chucks it away. Cubs up 3-0, but the Brewers immediately put pressure back at them. Matthew Boyd walks the first 2 hitters he faces. So many walks to start this game. Both pitchers walked 2 in the first. But Boyd gets a lot luckier than Misiorowski. William Contreras bounces into a nice double play before Christian Yelich grounds out. No runs. Second inning with 2 outs, nobody on. Brewers get something cooking. Base hit by Bryce Terang. Then another walk by Boyd. It's first and second, but Joey Ortiz misses this one. Third time's a charm. Sal Frelick hits a leadoff double to start the third. Next hitter Churio strikes out, but Contreras smacks the first pitch he sees for a base hit instead of a double play this time, which is very smart by him. Then Christian Yelich takes a bunch of borderline pitches. That first one definitely could have been a strike, and then sends this slider past Kyle Tucker in right field. 1 run scores. They finally come through with guys on base against Boyd, and they weren't done. Another walk, this time by Andrew Vaughn. Then Isaac Collins, great first name, works a full count before lining it into right for a 2-run single. Tie game. Brewers take the lead 2 pitches later on a sac fly. Meanwhile, Misiorowski had a much easier time the rest of his outing. It's like he forgot to turn the game level settings down. That's why he had such a rough first, and then remembered and had a 1-2-3 second inning with 2 strikeouts, a 1-2-3 third inning with another strikeout, and then another 1-2-3 inning with yet another punch out after getting the lead back. Since Misiorowski is a rookie, the team is really limiting his innings this year. here, so he's done after 4 innings, but the Brewer bullpen handled it from there. Only 1 Cubs run the rest of this game while the Brewers put up 4 more. Andrew Vaughn goes deep. Andrew Vaughn. We're going to get back to this dude. He's a fascinating story. Sal Frelick hits a bomb. Christian Yelich says, yo, wait, okay, let me try. Bang. Trevor McGill pumps 101 past Suzuki. Ball game. Game 2 is also mostly Brewers. Cubs actually scored first again, so at least they got that going for them. But the Brewers sacrificed the Cubs to death. Out of context, Pete is going to want me sacrificed for that one. Scoring 5 runs, 3 of them being sacrifice flies. It's 5-1 Brew Crew. Skip ahead to the 6th. Andrew Vaughn, this motherfucker, does it again. Takes the first pitch he sees and hammers it out for a grand slam. 9-3 final score. Cubs finally had things go their way in the finale. Offense goes off for 10 runs. They're the ones blowing them out now, but still productive series for the Brewers, taking 2 of 3 and gaining a game on them in the standings. So time to go on the road now and play 2 of the worst teams in baseball, starting in Washington, D.C., where they didn't even play baseball games. They basically just played batting practice for 3 nights. Ironically, the Nats were the first to score in this series. It's like Milwaukee felt bad, and we're like, just let them feel good for 5 minutes. We'd be evil not to at least give them that. 1 run in the 2nd, 5 runs in the 3rd, 3 runs in the 5th, 5 runs in the 7th, and 2 more just for the hell of it in the 8th. 16 runs get put up by the Brewers to win game 1 before they immediately drop 3 in game 2. 8 runs on the day, so this game was more of a day off for the boys. Like, all right, we'll just only put up 8 tonight, so I guess we can be fully energized to put up a couple more touchdowns on Sunday. It lined up perfectly. Another massacre. 14 Brewer runs crossed the plate, so that's 38 runs scored in this series. I think pretty clearly a combination of an abnormally bad Nationals pitching staff and a good Brewer offense taking advantage of what they should be taking advantage of, and they do the same in Atlanta, although in a different way. The Braves, as bad as they've been this year, it's not a great pitching staff, but that's at least a hell of a lot better than the Nationals pitching, which is like saying I'm smarter than a first grader, which, you know what, let me go down just to be safe. That's not guaranteed. It's like saying I'm smarter than a kindergartner. But still, Braves are a little better in that way, and the Brewers only had 1 time where they scored in the first game of the series. Thankfully, 3 runs were able to score all at the same time when Isaac Collins swung the bat. 3-run homer, and a Jurickson Profar homer was all the Braves got, and it just counted for 1 because we don't live in a communist country where everything is equal. Braves didn't work hard enough to make it worth more, so all you get is 1, Milwaukee gets 3. Get over it. Jeez, I promised myself I wouldn't get political today. I'm sorry. But I do have to bring up another political argument. Could be controversial, but I don't care. Quinn Priester, that's all I gotta say. A guy who wasn't even in the Brewers organization until weeks into this season has been awesome in the rotation. After giving up that Profar homer on the first pitch, he throws 7 shutout innings, so pretty good troll job. You're thinking, oh boy, here come the Braves. No, not at all. Then the 2-headed monster at the back end closes it out. Abner Uribe and Trevor McGill, which I just want to point out, I love how they get taller as the game goes. Uribe is the 8th inning guy. He comes in at 6'3", 210 pounds. And the 9th inning comes along. All of a sudden, you have a guy who's grown 6 inches, gained 39 pounds, and full-on race swap to become white. Like, that is some serious whiplash for any opposing lineup if I've ever seen it. Freddie Peralta follows up Priester's great outing with 5 solid innings of his own. 7 strikeouts before 3 more Brewer relievers keep the Braves hitters quiet. I just talked about Uribe and McGill. Neither of those guys pitched here. It was 3 separate good pitchers. Yeah, this bullpen is stacked. Meanwhile, the offense goes off for 7 runs. They get the series win before rallying to a 1-run win in the finale. Andrew Vaughn can't stop, won't stop. I mentioned his fascinating story. So this man started the season on the White Sox. He played 48 games for them this season. He was so bad, like so bad, that his WAR stat, his wins above replacement, was negative 1.8 for them, meaning he was so atrocious that he was worth almost 2 whole losses to the White Sox. His batting average was 189. His OPS was 531. I mean, it really doesn't get worse than that. Like, what else is left for you at that point? Well, it now looks like this is part of Vaughn's plan all along. It's like he had an under-the-table deal with Milwaukee to tank so bad on the White Sox they'd have no chance but to get rid of him. The Brewers would be ready to pounce on it because they expected it. They trade for him, and Vaughn takes some super serum that turns him into Barry Bonds. That is the only logical explanation for what's happened since the White Sox traded him to the Brewers. His batting average was 189 with the White Sox. It's .358 with the Brewers. His OPS, .531 with the White Sox. It's almost 1,100 with the Brewers. He hit 5 home runs in 48 games with the White Sox. He's already hit 7 home runs in 23 games with the Brewers. He drove in 19 runs in 48 games with the White Sox. Bro's already got 28 RBIs in 23 games with the Brewers. This is insane. His production, again, was so bad to the point where, as good as he's been with the Brewers, like, he's literally been Barry Lamar frickin' Bonds, his WAR on the season is still in the negatives. That's how bad he was, only to become a wizard, because at this point the Brewers have some secret, well, not so secret, devil magic going on over there. I don't know exactly what satanic rituals they got going on over there, but it's something, and it's working. Vaughn drives in a couple more runs in Game 3. Blake Perkins hits a 2-run shot. Braves almost came back. They make it a 1-run game. Michael Harris even takes Trevor McGill deep, but
It's not enough.
Brewers sweep the Braves. That's 6 in a row, 8 of their last 9, and back home they go to face the team that gave all of Wisconsin heartbreak last October, the Mets. And their new guy, Juan Soto, immediately picks things up right where Pete Alonso left them with a home run to right field. 1-0 Mets. Then Starling Marte. He's only got 4 homers on the year coming into this game. He smacks one out, 2-0. And Kodai Senga on the mound for the Mets, wheeling and dealing. 4 shutout innings. He starts off the 5th inning with a ball hit right back to him that he can't field cleanly. And seeing that a home run would now tie the game with a man on base, because that's how baseball works, Bryce Terang goes, okay, I'll do that. First pitch, boom, tie game, simple. 2 batters later, Senga walks Joey Ortiz. Sal Frelick gets on via a catcher's interference. He hits this ball into play, and the Mets get an out of it, but his bat hit Francisco Alvarez's glove, so it's a dead ball. He goes to first. Then Senga walks another hitter, Contreras. Bases loaded. Senga gets taken out of the game. In comes Brooks Raley. Strike 1, strike 2. Identical pitches in identical spots before he rips this next one in and off of Isaac Collins' foot. 3-2 Brewers, and that's all they needed. Well, they needed a little sick defense, too. Little keynote here, the Brewers are good at doing everything. They're good at pitching, their hitting is solid, but they're also good at the more little stuff, like the base running, the defense, everything. Back in that series against the Marlins, where this video started, Blake Perkins drove in the walk-off run to center on a base hit. Well, it would have been a double, but yeah. And, well, just to show how good this team is at doing everything, Perkins does the exact opposite to win this game against the Mets. It's the 9th inning. Brewers still up 3-2. Abner Uribe came into the game in the 8th, struck out the first 2 guys before the Mets got a base runner, but it didn't go anywhere. He got Juan Soto to immediately ground into the 3rd out. The 9th started out very similar. McGill now in gets the first 2 hitters of the inning out, but just like Uribe, allows the 3rd guy on, this time via a double by Starling Marte. He's a strike away, and Marte hammers it into the gap. Double. I guess the Brewers just, they can't make things easy or simple against the Mets. So up comes Jeff McNeil, and he does something similar to Juan Soto in the sense that he hit into the last out of the inning. Difference is it happened like this.
And McNeil into center field, a base hit. Perkins throw to the plate on a hop. He is Blake Perkins loads up the rifle and finishes this game. Blake Perkins throws a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to home plate on a hop to end the game.
Hard to not feel special about this team right now. They're hungry, they're clearly coming for blood, and they're the best team in baseball right now because of it. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.